So the first pro of doing client SEO is that you can grow your income fast. There are many ways to make money online, but I truly believe the fastest way is getting SEO clients. And that's because you get immediate income, and that compounds over time every time you land a new client. Just think about this for a second. If you wanted to make a six-figure income per year, you would only need 9 people to pay you $1,000 per month for SEO. If you landed just one $1,000 client every month, you would be making a six-figure income within less than a year. The second pro is that client SEO gives you cash flow, which allows you to either invest that capital into other streams of income or back into the business. The third pro is that client SEO actually accelerates your SEO skills. Now, this isn't talked about a lot, but getting SEO clients is like trial by fire. You need to get them results or they'll stop paying you. So it forces you to take action and do what's necessary to make them happy. In short, it forces you to take action, which, as you know, is the key to real learning. And the last pro is that doing client SEO can be fulfilling because you're directly responsible for helping other people grow their wealth. And that can be a really awesome feeling. But now let's talk about some of the cons of doing client SEO. First, let me say that a lot of these cons will be tackled in the client SEO portion of this training, but these are simply challenges that I've dealt with, and I'm explaining because I want you to avoid making the same mistakes that I did. So the first con is unrealistic expectations. And this is usually the product of a weak client application or vetting system. If you don't establish realistic expectations up front, you will regret it. I'll be covering this part of the client SEO process in detail to avoid any unrealistic expectation issues. The second con is that clients can be unreliable and can hurt your cash flow. It doesn't matter how good your collection system is, there are going to be clients who play games when it comes to paying. And I'll be showing you some actions you can take to combat this issue later on in the course. The third con is that operations can be a headache. Running an SEO agency is challenging because each campaign is unique. That means each campaign requires different actions, and this makes it challenging to create solid systems, which as a result makes it hard to scale. I'll be showing you how to systemize your SEO campaigns to make this scaling process much easier. The fourth con is that it requires human capital. To scale an SEO agency, you need to hire people. You can only take it so far by yourself, and new challenges arise when you bring employees on. But once again, I'll show you how to handle this once you're ready to hire. And the last con is that it can feel like a job with many bosses. Working with clients often feels like a job and not a business. Now, the key to handling this issue is to build systems and a team. More on this later. Now, let's talk about the pros of building niche websites. The first pro is that you're building your own company, not someone else's. Your time and effort goes into a project where you will receive all the rewards. Client SEO is great for cash flow, but there's a ceiling with each client. You get paid the same retainer regardless of how much more successful you make their businesses. Niche websites, on the other hand, allow you to reap all the rewards of your efforts because you actually own that company. And the second pro is that niche websites can be more passive. Client campaigns require constant attention. Niche websites can be built and are capable of bringing in income even when you're not working on them. And the best part is that you don't have to report to anyone. You are completely responsible for the success of your website, and you choose how much time you want to spend on them. You are literally your own boss. The third pro is that niche websites are often easier to sell than client SEO businesses. That's because your niche websites will likely be monetized through scalable methods such as affiliate offers, ad placements, or even product sales. Now, service-based businesses like client SEO are challenging to sell because they are often largely dependent on the resident expert, and it's challenging to scale multiple SEO campaigns. And SEO companies are not attractive buys for most investors unless you have employees and extensive proven systems. The fourth pro is that building and getting SEO results with niche websites helps you build a portfolio, which you can then leverage to get SEO clients in the future. Now, there are some cons to building niche websites that can't be ignored. The first con is that it takes longer to make a full-time income building niche websites compared to client SEO. The second con is that building niche websites is slightly riskier because you could pick the wrong niche or other issues could arise. Now, I'll be tackling this part in great detail to help you avoid any pitfalls. The third con is that building niche websites sometimes feels like harder work, even though it's technically not. It's just different work than client SEO. For example, client SEO involves actually doing SEO, selling, marketing, and customer service, while niche websites just require creating content and doing SEO in most cases. So at this point, how do you decide what path to take? Well, that's ultimately for you to decide, but I'll explain the pathway I took and why I think it's a good path. So the first step is to start a niche website. The second step is to get SEO results with that niche website. And the third step is to use your results to get clients. That way you can get cash flow from client work and reinvest it into sustainable long-term niche projects. You can also just focus on one or the other, which is a good approach as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson. In this lesson, I'm going to show you the client SEO system at a 30,000 foot view. Let's jump right in. So first, I'm going to show you how to pick a niche to land SEO clients in. Then I'm going to show you exactly how to get real SEO results and how to build your portfolio as fast as possible. Thirdly, I'll show you how to use the outbound system to land SEO clients quickly. Fourth, I'll show you how to stack the inbound system with the outbound system to take your income to another level. Then I'll show you how to convert your prospects into paying SEO clients. And lastly, I'll show you exactly how to make your clients love you so they'll stick around and continue to pay you for years. Remember that the key to succeeding with this client SEO system is to act on what you've learned. I'm giving you the framework and the steps, but you're the one that's ultimately responsible for your success. I believe in you, and I'm super excited to help you through your journey. So that's all for now, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you so much for watching. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to pick a niche for landing SEO clients. So the first question I need to cover is whether you should niche down or have a general focus. There's no wrong answer here, but it's generally going to be easier to niche down because there will be less competition and your marketing and sales process will be more targeted. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't take on clients in other niches. It just means that your brand's identity will be centered around one or a few niches. Now, what most people don't realize is that there are many different ways to niche down. For example, most people think of niching down as just selecting an industry like HVAC or plumbers, but as you'll soon find out in a second, there are a few different angles you can take to niche down. But with that said, let's start with the most common way of niching down, which is on the industry level. So in general, you'll want to target niches that have a high customer value. For example, a single customer for a personal injury lawyer could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. That means you can charge a premium for SEO because the ROI for a personal injury lawyer is substantial. On the other hand, companies with low customer values won't be able to get an ROI on SEO services unless they're able to make up for the low customer value with sales volume. For example, a supplement company I worked with had a low customer value, but they had enough sales volume to justify their investment in premium SEO services. So the main takeaway here is to target industries that can actually get an ROI from using your SEO services. I have a list of some industries with high customer values below the video. Now, let's talk about the second way you can niche down, which is to target specific locations. So instead of choosing a niche, you'll just choose locations to go after. When I first got started, I chose smaller cities that were high on the wealth scale. For example, instead of targeting Los Angeles, I went after Santa Monica, Glendale, and Beverly Hills. These cities have a lot of money flowing through them, but the competition is lower than Los Angeles. So one way to determine how wealthy a city is to look at how much police officers and firefighters are paid. For example, according to Indeed, on average, police officers in Beverly Hills make about $80,000 per year, and this is 37% above the national average. Police officer and firefighter compensation is usually public record, so you can find this information out quickly with some Google searches. That said, if you're new, you should target lower competition, high value cities in the beginning, just like I did. Then as you begin to build a portfolio and website authority, you can venture into more competitive cities. Now, the third way to niche down is both on the industry and location level. For example, you could target lawyers in Beverly Hills, or get even more specific and only target personal injury lawyers in Beverly Hills. Now, obviously, your pool of prospects will be much smaller with this approach, but it can be effective when you're starting out. In general, focus is always the best route. And the final way to niche down is on the service level. So instead of offering full service SEO as your primary solution, you can splinter your service into microservices. For example, you could specialize in technical SEO, SEO content creation, link building, or just local SEO. And what's interesting about this approach is that microservices can be used as a foot in the door tactic to land larger full service SEO contracts. And as you'll soon be finding out, this is one of my favorite methods for landing clients. You can also just become known as the link building guy or whatever identity you want. Many SEO agencies have been successful using this exact approach. And a great one to study is Page One Power. They specialize in link building and they're very successful because their marketing material and sales process is streamlined to close link building contracts only. And remember what I said earlier, focus is good. So just to review, there are 4 ways to niche down. Number 1, by industry. Choose an industry with high customer values. Number 2, by location. Focus on smaller, wealthier cities. Number 3, by industry and location. And number 4, you can niche down the service level by splintering off microservices from your primary service. So that's all for this lesson. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. In this lesson, I'm going to explain why you need to get real SEO results before taking on clients. Let's jump right in. So there are 3 reasons why you need to prove that you can do SEO before taking on clients. The first reason are ethics. Companies that invest money with you or any SEO company are under the impression that you know what you're doing. You don't have to be an industry-leading expert to take on clients, but you should at least have some results to prove your competence. And if you don't have results right now, don't worry, because I'll be showing you some ways to build your portfolio as fast as possible. So with that said, it's highly unethical to provide SEO services if you've never ranked or gotten results. Think about it this way. Would you knowingly hire a supposed plumber to fix your pipes if they've never fixed a pipe before? Well, it's highly unlikely and super risky for you. And when you hire a plumber, you're under the assumption that A, they know about plumbing more than you do, and B, they've actually practiced plumbing and have experience. Now imagine if you did hire a supposed plumber that had no experience or knowledge and he or she ended up destroying your pipes or flooding your house. You would be fuming if you found out that this person lied to you and made you believe that they were competent. And that brings me to the second reason why you need results before taking on clients, and that's to protect your reputation. If a company pays you to do SEO but finds out you have no experience and have never gotten results, then your reputation will be on the line. Now sure, it's possible you'll figure it out along the way and get the client results, but it's highly risky for you and them. And if you don't get them results, they might wreck your reputation. That's why taking the time to truly understand how to do effective SEO and then actually taking what you've learned and practicing to get results is fundamental to your long-term success in this industry. The best way to think about this is a quote from Warren Buffett. It takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. Now, Buffett is implying that your reputation means everything and you should think about what actions you should or shouldn't do to protect it. The third reason why you need results before trying to get clients is because it makes your sales process 10 times easier. There is no greater persuasion vehicle than demonstrating that you actually know what you're doing. Building a deep portfolio of SEO results should be a priority if you're planning on working with clients for the long term. So with that said, let me show you a few methods you can use to build up your SEO portfolio as quickly as possible. So the first and most hated method is to work for free. Now, I know you probably just rolled your eyes at this idea, but hear me out for a second. First, it's easy to close someone if you simply say, I'll help you rank for some low competition keywords for free because I'm trying to build my SEO portfolio. Then, once you get these clients some results, you can convert them into actual paying clients. Now, the key is to choose a small number of very low competition keywords. And your goal in this process is to get results quickly so you can add it to your portfolio and to demonstrate to the client that you know what you're doing. And if the client has a decent website, you should be able to rank for some low competition, micro long tail keywords pretty quickly. And after you've achieved some results, I recommend pushing for referrals as well. You can say something like, I'll help you rank for XYZ for free if you send me some referrals. This is the fastest way to snowball your portfolio and monthly income. The second method, which takes much longer, is to build a niche website and rank for low competition keywords. And this is similar to the example above, and it's the approach I personally used. Now, you're technically still working for free, but you're in complete control and you'll be the one to reap the benefits of the success of your niche website. And remember that each keyword you rank for is a success that you can add to your portfolio. Just keep in mind that the goal is to demonstrate that you're more competent at SEO than the companies you're pitching, and that's it. If you do that right, you're going to land clients. The third method is to build a local website and rank for low competition keywords that your target market wants to rank for. For example, if you're targeting HVAC companies, you could rank for super long tail keyword phrases like best HVAC company in Beverly Hills, CA. And this is an extremely powerful method because you're actually demonstrating in their target market. So those are the best ways to build up your portfolio quickly. All you need to do now is focus on demonstrating your SEO skills by getting real results just by using the strategies I've outlined in the beginning of the course. So that's all for this lesson. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to use the outbound system for landing new clients. But first, what is the outbound marketing system? Outbound marketing is often referred to as push marketing, but it means that you're the one pushing for new clients. You're the one reaching out to qualified prospects and trying to persuade them to become a client. Now, this is different than the inbound system, or sometimes referred to as pull marketing, which is the process of attracting leads to your business using inbound marketing. In layman's terms, outbound means you're going to get clients, and inbound means they're coming to you. Now, before I can show you the outbound methods, I need to show you how to get contact information. And that's because you'll be sending emails, so this is critical. Hunter.io is my personal favorite tool. Just enter the target company's domain and let Hunter.io work its magic. Sometimes it won't produce any results, and that's why you'll need to use Viola Norbert as a backup option. Just open up Viola Norbert and enter the first name and last name in the domain of the prospect you're trying to reach. And if these two tools don't produce any results, then I recommend using LinkedIn to find the point of contact you're trying to reach. Those three tactics should help you find most companies' point of contact information. Now let me show you the process. First, you're going to identify a point of leverage. Some possible leverage points you can use are the following. The company is ranking on page 5 of Google or worse for their most important keywords. The company is paying for Google Ads but has no organic search visibility. The company doesn't have an SSL certificate installed. The company's website isn't mobile friendly. The company's website loads slowly. The company's website doesn't have Google Analytics or a Facebook Pixel installed. The company hasn't claimed or properly set up their Google My Business listing. Or lastly, the company has inconsistent NAPW information, which is name, address, phone, and website. So what you'll do now is gather a large list of prospects, then go through each of these items and see if their website or company is displaying any of these points of leverage. Then from there, you'll develop a customized pitch based on the issue they have. For example, let's say the company is ranking on page 5 or worse for the target keywords. What you would do is pitch a free video audit to help them identify what's holding their SEO performance back. Then once they agree, you perform the audit. Then after you deliver the audit, you just ask them if they would like you to handle the SEO campaign for them. Now, how you approach the pitch will depend on your level of experience. So if you're trying to build a portfolio, then it would make sense for you to either work for free or for a low amount, as I described in the previous video. You can also pitch a microservice before trying to score the large full-service SEO contract. This will turn your prospect into a paying customer, but without them having to make a big commitment up front. And I will have all these different sales processes combinations below this video, but the first way to land clients using the outbound system is through finding leverage. And this will make you different than 80% of all SEOs because you're taking the time to analyze these businesses and develop an intelligent, targeted pitch. I'll have a few different downloads below this video to help guide you through this process. First, I'll have a Google Sheet template you can copy for prospecting and identifying leverage points and tracking your outreach. Second, I'll have many different sales processes you can use depending on the type of leverage you've identified. And lastly, I'll have outreach templates to support each point of leverage. Now let's talk about the second best way to land new clients, and that's partnering with digital marketing agencies. In short, you'll do SEO for the agency's clients on a white label basis. That means you'll do the work and get the results, but they'll take credit for the results and communicate directly with the client. You're simply working on the back end. Now, this is a great arrangement in the beginning because A, you don't have to focus on sales other than the initial sale with the agency, and B, you don't have to deal with direct customer service because you'll only be communicating with the agency. Now, the downsides are that the monthly retainers will be smaller per client because the agency has to make a profit. Now, the good news is that this is usually offset by the quantity of clients that an agency will send you. In fact, I used this exact method when I first got started. I had white label agreements with several agencies in the beginning, and this was a great source of income, which led to all kinds of other opportunities down the road. I recommend combining both white label and direct to client to maximize your income growth. So with that said, how do you actually land white label agreements? First, you have to know what types of companies to target. I recommend making a list of all digital marketing, internet marketing, SEO, PPC, graphic design, or web design companies, or basically any type of business that may provide SEO services. Secondly, you have to understand why an agency would even want to outsource their SEO to you. The main reason why they're open to outsourcing is because it saves them time and doesn't force them to hire and train employees. And if an agency gets more time, they can focus on bringing in new clients. Now, the most important part for them, though, is to work with a competent SEO who can actually get their clients results. But of course, that won't be a problem as long as you follow and execute the framework in the SEO portion of Gotcha SEO Academy. Now, the last piece of the puzzle will depend on your level of experience. So if you're new, I recommend pitching the agency that you'll work for free on one of their client campaigns just to prove yourself. You need to emphasize that they have nothing to lose by hiring you. And trust me on this one, the long-term value of this approach is worth working for free for a little bit of time, because if you do a solid job, a single agency could send you enough clients to replace your day job income. At least that's what happened for me. I'll have some white label SEO outreach templates below this video that you can use. And there are a few other places you should be monitoring and trying to score clients as well. The first is in the gig section on Craigslist. I landed several clients through Craigslist when I first started, and you can use the same leverage methods I've shown you to score clients here. I also recommend setting up a profile on WeGrowth, Upwork, Freelancer, and even Guru. Constantly monitor these websites for new opportunities and apply to as many as you can. You have nothing to lose by applying and learning what works during this application process. I'll tell you this, I've hired many freelancers on Upwork, and I almost always hire the person that has the best attention to detail. For example, in my job postings, I'll inject something like, write the word banana in your proposal. The people that don't do it are automatically disqualified because it shows that they, A, didn't take the time to actually read the job posting, which implies laziness or they don't have enough time to service my company the right way. And B, it implies that they can't follow instructions or have a low attention to detail. And these are all bad qualities, and that's why I eliminate those possibilities at the onset. So the main takeaway is that putting in a little more effort than the average freelancer will produce far better results. Most people on these freelancing websites are focused on quantity. I recommend focusing on quality. Think about it this way. If you submitted just one detailed and thoughtful SEO proposal per day for 3 months, you will have sent off 90 quality proposals. If you converted just 3% of these proposals into new clients, you would have 3 new clients, and this is being very conservative as far as output and conversion rates. And believe it or not, increasing your client base is sometimes nothing more than just putting in consistent quality work over time. And the best way to illustrate this is through a quick story. In 1993, a 23-year-old named Trent Dreisman was hired by a bank in Abbotsford, Canada. And upon his hiring, people didn't expect much of him, but then they started to take notice how quickly he was progressing. Dreisman used a simple method each morning to excel at his new job. He simply placed 2 jars on his desk, and one was filled with 120 paper clips and the other was empty. Then after every sales call, Dreisman would take 1 paperclip and move it to the empty jar, and he didn't stop until all the paperclips were moved. This signified that he made 120 sales calls for the day. And by using this simple and consistent method, Dreisman was making $75,000 per year, which is the equivalent of $125,000 today, within only 18 months, and then landed another big job shortly thereafter. So the main takeaway here is that consistency pays off. Most people aren't consistent and won't do this type of work, and that's your advantage. Do the work and be consistent, because those 2 qualities are the key to producing results using the Outbound system for landing new SEO clients. And the crazy part is that I haven't even showed you the Inbound system that you'll be stacking with this one. But that's all for this lesson. Your downloads will be below this video, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. In this lesson, I'm going to show you the Inbound system for getting more SEO clients. Let's jump in. So just to review, the big difference between Outbound and Inbound is that you're searching for and reaching out to potential clients when you're doing outbound marketing, but potential clients are searching and reaching out to you when you're doing inbound marketing. For maximum results, you should be stacking both methods together. That's because outbound is effective for getting clients quickly, while inbound methods take longer to see an impact and will require considerably more work. However, in the long term, once your inbound marketing picks up steam, you'll get new leads and customers 24/7, 365 on autopilot. And eventually you can choose to stop doing outbound marketing altogether if you're driving enough leads from inbound. For example, I only used outbound methods for the first 3 or so months of starting my agency. Since then, my company gets 100% of its leads through inbound marketing. And trust me, it's a lot easier to grow a company this way. But before I jump into tactics, I need to explain how the sales process for outbound versus inbound is different. So the big difference between the two is that with inbound, you'll be responding to leads either through a contact form or through a direct phone call. I personally recommend both types of conversion options when you're focusing on client SEO, but I'll cover this more in the sales portion of this training. So there are 3 types of inbound methods I'm going to show you. The first is referral generation, the second is content marketing, and the third is paid advertising. Now, the key to fully understanding inbound marketing is to understand how a content marketing funnel works and how a sales funnel works. I've already covered the content marketing funnel in the SEO content lesson, but here's a quick refresher. A content marketing funnel is broken down into 3 sections: the top, middle, and bottom of the funnel. These are often referred to as tofu, mofu, and bofu. In short, you need to produce content at each stage of the funnel. And my process for doing this is as follows, and this applies to both products and services. First, I create tofu content, which is usually an in-depth blog post targeting a relevant keyword. Second, I create a free lead magnet to convert traffic into email subscribers. Now, depending on the offering, this may also be a call to action for the traffic to submit an application or submit a contact form. And the goal at the mofu stage of the funnel is to turn your traffic into leads. Then in the last stage of the funnel, I'll produce bofu content that's focused on persuading the lead to become a customer. So that may come in the form of testimonials, stories, results, etc. And to show you this in practice, let me walk you through one of my sales processes for Gotcha SEO Academy. Keep in mind, this will vary for a service, but the general concept will be illuminated. So here's how my content marketing and sales process looks at a 30,000-foot view. At the top, you have traffic, and this may come from organic search, paid advertising, or other referral sources. At the top of the funnel, I have blog content. Then within the blog content, I promote a free lead magnet, which is my SEO 101 course. This is my mofu content. Then after a subscriber goes through the course, I offer them a limited time free trial of Gotcha SEO Academy. This free trial is my bofu content. I also stack testimonials, frequently asked questions, and other types of bofu content. Now, the goal of this stage is to turn leads into customers, so all your content should be structured to achieve that objective. Notice how the content changes as you go down the funnel. First, you educate. Second, you add more value, but you ask for them to make a small commitment. And lastly, you sell. Now, believe it or not, the traffic part of this equation is the least important. You can get enormous amounts of traffic, but if your funnel is poorly structured, that traffic won't convert into customers. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. That's why investing time in developing an effective content marketing funnel and sales process is well worth it. So now let me show you how you can develop and execute an effective content marketing funnel and sales process so you can land more SEO clients. So the first method is what I call the case study method. Here's how it works. You're going to create an SEO case study about some results you've achieved. Preferably that's relevant to your target market. Then you're going to add a call to action in this case study for the reader to apply for a free SEO audit. And I'll have the questions you need to ask for the application below this video. Then all you need to do is drive traffic to this SEO case study. In most cases, you'll need to use paid traffic. And I'll help you out with paid traffic, but for now, I just want to show you the methods at a 30,000-foot view. Method number 2 is my personal favorite, and it's also the most challenging. It's the process of choosing locations and then creating geo-targeted landing pages that you'll rank in Google. For example, if you search St. Louis SEO, you'll find Gotcha SEO. This single page was one of the biggest sources of lead generation when I was still taking on clients. And if you're new, I recommend targeting smaller cities like I mentioned in the niching down lesson. Select high-value cities and then work to rank those pages. And trust me, it's worth the effort. It just takes time and patience. Then on these pages, you either can have a traditional application form or you can pitch a free audit. And if you don't have an existing client base or you don't have much authority in the SEO industry, then I recommend using a free SEO audit to get your foot in the door. These first 2 methods can work together as well. For example, you can promote your case studies on your geo-targeted pages. The next method is to target informational keywords in the SEO industry. Now, I'll be honest, this is a challenging one because of the competition, but it's extremely valuable once you rank because there is no better form of skill demonstration. You're building social proof and trust up front and subconsciously before you even talk to a lead. Think about it. If they're searching Google, going to your page, and submitting a form, then what just occurred? You just demonstrated that SEO works without talking or having to persuade them at all. That's why I always laugh when some gurus who aren't ranking for any keywords claim that ranking for SEO keywords is a waste of time. 99.9% of my leads are directly attributed to SEO keywords that Gotcha SEO ranks for. Please don't let them fool you. If you take this approach, make sure you start out by targeting longer tail keywords. For example, trying to rank for backlinks or some other tough head or body keywords will require lots of links, content, and patience. I recommend waiting until your website is much more authoritative to target those types of keywords. In the meantime, go after long tail keywords and dominate those. You don't need a ton of traffic to get qualified leads. And the final inbound method that's incredibly effective is to perform public SEO audits and then post them on YouTube. I highly recommend looking at Chase Rainer's YouTube channel because he does an excellent job using this strategy. Audits are a great way to demonstrate your expertise, and they cost you nearly nothing to produce and publish. They only require your time. And YouTube in general as a channel is, in my opinion, the most untapped source for driving SEO leads. There are only a few SEOs pushing hard on YouTube, and there's a lot of opportunity there. You can produce case studies or even general information video content. But the ultimate goal of your YouTube content should be to educate, inform, and establish you as an authority. In fact, as you'll notice, the ultimate goal of inbound marketing is to educate and to build your trustworthiness for your brand. Trust is the key to sales. In the beginning, or really at any time, you should be looking at every channel as an opportunity to add value and to build your brand's authority in the industry. In addition to your website and YouTube, you should also be adding value to Quora, forums, blog comment sections on industry blogs, and even in Facebook groups. People have built entire careers just by adding value in Facebook groups or in forums. Now, while contributing to communities won't always drive direct traffic to your website, it's a way to build your brand. And when people start to recognize the value that you bring, they will start to search for your name and brand in Google. And this is beneficial from an SEO perspective, but it's also huge from a business perspective. And it's only possible by adding massive amounts of value across multiple channels. Now, keep in mind, you don't have to do this forever, but in the beginning, you should be testing every channel and consistently producing value on them. So those are the best inbound marketing methods, in my opinion, and I've personally used each one. There are other tactics such as webinars, but that's not something I personally use to get clients, so I won't be covering that. So with that said, let's review the inbound system. Step 1, create top of the funnel content. This may be informational content, case studies, YouTube videos, or even contributions to communities. Step 2, create middle of the funnel content. This may be free SEO audits, which require the user to submit an application, or it can be a free download, which requires the user to submit their email address. Either way, the objective at this stage is to get a percentage of users to take another step to further a relationship with your brand. Step 3, create bottom of the funnel content that's designed to persuade your leads to become SEO clients. Now, this will come in the form of testimonials, keyword rankings, traffic growth screenshots, case studies, frequently asked questions, or even a list of your happy clients that they can call. And the final stage, which I haven't covered yet, is creating an SEO proposal and following up on that proposal. That's what the next lesson will be all about. But for now, that's all for this lesson. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to turn your leads into paying clients. Let's jump right in. So as you learned in the previous lesson, many of the inbound marketing techniques require you to capture leads either through email or through an application form. I recommend setting up both, and let's start with email. There are 3 email providers that I personally recommend. Number 1 is MailChimp. MailChimp is perfect for a smaller budget because you can get a good number of subscribers for free. I personally started out with MailChimp, but then I outgrew it and needed something more advanced, which leads me to number 2, which is Drip. And Drip is more focused on email automation. And I don't personally recommend jumping into email automation when you're new because it will likely be a distraction and there's a big learning curve. But once you've mastered many of the other skill sets, it's worth looking into. One other respected email provider is Aweber. It doesn't have a big learning curve and is quite similar to MailChimp. So after you've selected a way to capture email addresses, then you need a way for leads to apply or contact you. You can use Contact Form 7 to embed forms directly on your website, but I also love using Typeform. It's free and it has some really amazing functionality. And you can also use Gravity Forms, which is a more advanced version of Contact Form 7, but it's paid. So then what do you do after you've collected a lead? Well, your initial outreach will depend on what they are requesting by filling out a form. For example, if they fill out your SEO audit application, your outreach will vary compared to if they submitted your full service SEO application. Now, this part is common sense, so I won't bore you. If they applied for an SEO audit, then reach out and thank them for their application, and then let them know when their free SEO audit will be completed. And believe it or not, I recommend the same exact process even if they're a full service SEO lead. Once again, thank them for applying and then ask them if you can perform a free SEO audit. I'll have exact templates you can use below the video. So then what do you do after you've completed the audit? This is the most important stage of the process, so listen carefully. You need to turn this lead into a paying customer. That means you'll send them a simple email about the completed audit and you'll say something along the lines of, "Hey name, I've completed your SEO audit and attached," or "here's the link." The biggest actions you need to take to improve your SEO performance are number 1, you insert a high impact action, and then number 2, and then number 3. These actions will have the biggest impact on SEO performance, but there are many other actions/issues you'll need to tackle as you'll discover in the audit. Do you have a few minutes to discuss the audit this week? Or you can say, "Hey name," insert their name, "I've completed your SEO audit. Do you have a few minutes today or tomorrow to go over our findings?" Now, this method is a sneakier one because you'll send the audit right before the meeting. So in a way, you force them to get on the phone with you. And the previous template is a value first template, but it won't drive as many phone calls as the second one. And of course, you can vary these templates if you don't want to talk over the phone, although I highly recommend you get on the phone because your close rate will be substantially higher. So then let's assume you get on the phone to discuss the SEO audit findings. You don't need to do anything complicated here. Just talk about what you found and what they would need to do to make the changes you're suggesting. And the only method I recommend here is to discuss how much work goes into these actions. You have to remember that companies hire SEO experts because A, it's too technical for them to execute, and B, they don't have enough time to execute. These two factors should naturally be demonstrated through your discussion. Then towards the end, just ask the lead if they would be interested in letting your company do the SEO for them so they don't have to waste time or effort trying to figure it out themselves. And if they say yes, then tell them that you'll develop a proposal and get it over to them by the end of the week, and that's it. Now, if they say no, then you should counter with a downsell. Say, "Okay, no worries. I know it's a big commitment, but would you be interested in us at least fixing your technical issues? This won't require a monthly commitment or anything at all. It'll just be a one-off project and will make your website technically sound." And if they say yes, then you'll send them a mini proposal. Remember, the goal is to get them to pay your company money. That's when the relationship changes. It may seem like they'll never become a full service client, but once there's an exchange of value, everything changes. So now let's talk about proposals. The first thing we need to do is talk about what tools or software you can use to deliver your proposals. There are a few different ways to create and send proposals. My personal favorites are Google Docs, PDFs, pitch decks using Google Slides, or PowerPoint. And there are proposal software such as Proposify, PandaDoc, and Nusi. I recommend testing each to see what works best for you, and I'll have some samples of each below the video. But listen, the vehicle for your proposal is by far the least important part of the process. What matters most is the substance of the proposal. And that's why I've prepared 19 elements you need to produce successful SEO proposals. Let's start with number 1. The first is they're personalized. There are some pieces of your SEO proposal that can use templates, but the key to a truly successful proposal is to personalize for the prospect situation. And the best way to accomplish this goal is by performing an SEO audit up front before you send your proposal. That way you can add your findings from the SEO audit in the proposal and create a personalized roadmap based on their situation. Number 2, successful proposals are efficient. No one wants to or is going to read a 100-page proposal. The best way to think about this is to use a quote from someone way smarter than me, Albert Einstein. Einstein said that everything should be made as simple as possible, but not simpler. That means your proposal should be efficient and gets to the point, but don't go overboard and make it thin. Number 3, use opening testimonials or data. Think of this section as a quick hook to get your prospect to read your entire proposal. Testimonials from successful clients, data proving your value, or data proving the value of the industry/service will work here. Number 4, write your opening statement. Your opening statement is nothing more than a big thank you and a way to express gratitude to the prospect for them giving you the opportunity to work together. It doesn't need to be anything more than a sentence or two. Number 5, outline a scope of work and overview. The scope of work section defines what you're offering the prospect. Think of it as an overview of the service offering. For example, you may say something like, Gotcha SEO will conduct an extensive SEO campaign to increase traffic and customer volume through organic search. Number 6, define the objectives. Outline the goals of the SEO campaign here and be as specific as possible. Some common SEO campaign objectives are increase organic search traffic, increase the total keyword ranking positions, and drive more customers through organic search. Number 7, list the deliverables. Deliverable is business lingo for what things are actually going to be done / accomplished during the service. And a simple deliverable is, we will build a keyword database of at least 1,000 potential keyword targets. The key to an effective deliverable is to be as specific as possible. Also, it's a good idea to mention what deliverables will be dependent on the client. For example, if the client needs to approve content you're creating, then make sure that's listed. Number 8, emphasize the benefits. You should be emphasizing the benefits of your SEO service throughout the proposal, but it's also a good idea to dedicate a section to it. The one question you need to ask yourself is, how is my service going to make their business and lives better? Some of the biggest benefits of hiring an SEO company are time savings, expertise, and most importantly, revenue growth. Number 9, establish realistic expectations. Most SEO proposals skip this part because it's not a cool topic. But what you want to do in this section is be incredibly honest about what they can expect from an SEO campaign. This section alone will eliminate a lot of headache down the road. For example, you should outline how long it takes for an SEO campaign to pick up steam. In other words, how long it takes to see results. I typically say 6 to 12 months. Now, although this may seem like a bad idea on the surface, it's actually genius because you're eliminating prospects that don't understand how much work goes into an SEO campaign and how long it actually takes to see results. On the other hand, you'll close the clients that understand that SEO is a slow-burning customer acquisition strategy. You'll also get validation that your client understands the importance of patience. Trust me, you do not want clients breathing down your neck about results within the first couple months. This section eliminates most of these issues up front. Number 10, outline the timeline. This section is simply setting deadlines for when the deliverables will be completed. I recommend outlining the timeline by months. For example, in month 1, you could say you'll finish the keyword database, you'll finish the competitor analysis, and you'll complete a deep SEO audit. Now, of course, this is going to vary depending on your offering, but the key takeaway is that you're giving them an idea of what to expect every month of the engagement. It also holds you and your company accountable for delivering on what you promise. Sometimes it's good to have this type of motivation to avoid any possibility of slacking. Number 11, establish the project lead. This is a very short section, but just write out who is going to be managing their SEO campaign and explain who this person is, their accomplishments, and ultimately why they're qualified to run the SEO campaign. Number 12, reveal the investment. Notice that I didn't say pricing. You have to angle your service as an investment, not a cost. The good news is that this is true. Investing in SEO can produce a return on investment. It's not like buying a car. You're investing in a marketing channel because it's going to make your company more money in the future. So with that said, this section will show the prospect how much they need to invest to work with you. I recommend offering 3 different pricing options. This is also known as tiered pricing. And how you price your services is up to you, but I recommend having a super premium option because it will act as a price anchor for the other options. For example, in my SEO proposals, I'll have a $3,997 per month package on the low end and a $14,997 a month package on the high end. You know that most people won't choose the premium option, but anchoring is a powerful method. Now, $4,000 on its own looks pretty huge, but it doesn't look that big if I showed you $15,000 first. That's the power of price anchoring. And one other tactic I recommend in this section is to itemize the deliverables in each tiered pricing section. That way you can negotiate by removing unnecessary deliverables. Number 13, inject social proof. Dedicate this section to testimonials, results, and case studies proving that you're capable of getting this prospect SEO results. Number 14, use an action-based guarantee. While you can't guarantee SEO results, you can guarantee that the work will be completed. I highly recommend that you do this. Number 15, add a thank you and call to action section. Now, this might seem obvious, but you need to instruct the prospect to act. First, thank them again for the opportunity, and then ask them to sign the proposal to get started. Number 16, use scarcity. I recommend adding an expiration date to your proposal along with a special offer. So for example, your proposal may say, this SEO proposal is valid until December 14th, 2018. Then I like to add a special offer like, if you sign up by Friday, we'll give you 20% off your first 3 months of service. The goal here is to get them to act. Number 17, add a signature section. In most cases, you'll need to discuss the proposal before a client signs on, but there are some that are already ready to go, so give them that opportunity. Number 18, check your grammar and spelling. Your goal is to be as professional as possible, and that starts with your grammar and spelling. Use Grammarly and Hemingway Writer to optimize this. And last but not least, number 19, optimize your design. You can use Canva templates to create well-designed PDFs, or you can hire a designer on Fiverr or Upwork. Either way, it definitely helps to have a presentable, well-designed, and professional proposal. Number 20, which is optional, add a credit card form. I'll typically add a credit card form on the proposal to push the envelope, but it's not necessary. I recommend testing it to see how well it converts. So the last thing I want to cover is when should you send your proposal? I recommend setting up a phone call or a screen share before you send the proposal. Then on the day of the conversation, send the proposal right before. That way you can guide the client through the offering, as opposed to sending it to them and then they just scroll right to the pricing section. That way you can win the clients through perceived value. The truth is, pricing means nothing. Your goal is to amplify your perceived value, and the best way to do this is through the strategy I just outlined. So that's all you need to know about developing effective SEO proposals. I'll have some support documents and samples below this video, but that's all for this lesson. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to make your SEO clients happy by consistently driving results and by providing incredible service and experience. No matter what anyone tells you, the key to making your clients happy is to get results. There are some other factors that will determine their happiness level, but results are the lead domino. Get them results and most clients will love you forever. Now keep in mind that there are some clients, probably less than 1%, who will never be satisfied. These clients are extremely rare, but you'll know it when you encounter them. So with that said, here's how my client SEO process looks. You can replicate, modify, or add to this process. I've tried to make this process as lean as possible so that A, you can get your clients results super fast, and B, you can turn a profit. And at a high level, the client SEO process is as follows. Number 1, perform an SEO audit to find existing issues and research to analyze your competitors and find keywords and link opportunities. Number 2, prioritize actions based on your findings and what will have the highest impact on their performance. For example, making their site mobile friendly would be a level 1 action because it would have a big impact on their SEO performance. Compare this to writing image alt tag descriptions, which would be a level 3 action because it would have a low impact on their SEO performance. Number 3, you need to take action on your priority list. Number 4, repeat critical actions such as creating new keyword targeted content, optimizing pages, and acquiring backlinks every single month. And this is the 30,000 foot view of an SEO campaign, but what you do month to month will vary. So let me show you how I would structure a 6-month campaign. And keep in mind that some of these actions will vary based on the client's budget. Also, I'll have workflows for 3, 6, and 12-month SEO campaigns below the video. Let's start with month 1. So in month 1, you're going to do the following. Number 1, perform an SEO audit. Number 2, conduct keyword research. Number 3, analyze their competitors. Number 4, find link prospects. And number 5, fix all technical or UX issues. In months 2 through 3, you'll number 1, optimize existing keyword targeted pages. Number 2, create new keyword targeted pages. And number 3, create linkable assets. Then in months 4 through 6, you'll number 1, acquire backlinks. Number 2, create new keyword targeted pages if the budget is available. Now, this is a very high level view of the process, and I'll have some specific deliverables and workflows below the video. But for now, I need to cover something very important. Should you do all the work or should you get help? Well, when you're starting out, it may seem wise to try to do all the work yourself. But in reality, you should begin the process of getting help and building systems as soon as possible, because it's the only way you can scale your services and take on more clients. Think about it this way. You can either spend more time working and retain more profit on a low scale, or you can have more time but have less profit on a high scale. Here's how that looks from a numbers perspective. Let's say you have 10 SEO clients paying you $500 per month and you're doing all the work. Technically, you'll have a 100% profit margin in this scenario. However, it's not that simple when you consider your time investment. Let's say your hourly rate is $50 per hour. That means you would spend 10 hours a month per client, which equates to 100 hours per month. That means you're working 100 hours to make $5,000 per month. Now, this is a nice amount of money, but there's one problem. You can only go so far until you're maxed out. Let's say you took on 10 more $500 per month clients, and that would put you at 200 hours per month or 50 hours a week. It would be nearly impossible to bring on new projects at this stage. Sure, you're making $10,000 per month, but at what cost? This is all assuming you'll have incredible efficiency and you'll work like a robot, which rarely happens. In this scenario, you're nothing more than a highly paid employee because you're being paid based on the amount of hours you're working. Now, this is okay in the short term, but in the long run, you want to flip this equation. You do not want to be paid based on the amount of hours you're working. Think about this for a second. Would you rather make $10,000 per month in pure profit and work 200 hours, or would you rather make $5,000 per month in profit and work 50 hours? I would personally take the latter any day of the week. But how is it possible? Well, it's possible to stop being paid by the hour when you either outsource or hire employees. And as you probably know, I've done both and I prefer outsourcing. And that's because pretty much every single SEO task can be outsourced. That means instead of spending your time servicing clients, you could spend your time selling new ones and keeping your existing client base happy. So how do you do it? Well, it's actually very simple. Let's say you have a $1,000 per month client. Take 25 to 50% of your revenue, which is $250 to $500, and invest it into a service or an individual freelancer. Then every time you take on a new client, just repeat this process. You're still going to profit, but you're going to be able to scale and have much more time. Then at a certain point, you'll have so many clients that you'll need to raise your prices. But in the beginning, just take a small amount of your revenue and get help immediately. This is exactly how I was able to grow my monthly income so quickly with client work. It wasn't because I was an SEO guru. It was because I started looking for help right away. Don't try to do everything yourself. Take less profit and get the help that you need. And the part that's so ironic is that doing so will actually produce more profit at scale. For example, 100% profit at $10,000 per month is $10,000 in profit, but 50% profit at $50,000 per month is $25,000 in profit. And you can see from the simple equation that less margin at scale destroys high margin on a low scale. Not only that, you'll be working less in the second scenario. So please review everything I just outlined because it will literally change your life in business. And the last big piece of client work that I need to cover is reporting and client support. My recommendation, which is what I've personally done, is to send a monthly report outlining what deliverables were completed or worked on and the overall performance, which may come in the form of individual keyword ranking performance, total keyword positions according to Ahrefs or SEMrush, or Google Analytics organic search traffic growth. And aside from your big monthly report, you should be updating your clients at least bi-weekly. And weekly is even better. Just report positive changes in rankings and report big actions that were completed. The truth is, clients want to stay in the loop, and if they believe you're working hard on their campaign, they won't be breathing down your neck as aggressively. Lastly, don't keep your clients hanging. If they send you an email, try to respond within 24 hours or less. So those are the keys to successful client SEO campaigns for both the client and your business. I'll be getting into the specifics of outsourcing, hiring employees, and systems development in future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. In this lesson, I'm going to explain the 7 mindset hacks you need to use to increase your chances of being successful in the SEO industry. Let's jump in. First, do not take this lesson lightly. Having the right mindset is the fundamental piece to breaking into the 1% of wealth accumulators in the world. Did you know that there are only 36 million millionaires in the world, and that there are 7.5 billion people on this earth? And that means that 99% of the world has a net worth less than $1 million. Think about that for a second. And if you make 6 figures per year, you'll make more than 92% of the people in the United States, according to the Wall Street Journal. Now, why am I throwing these facts at you? Because these numbers prove that you need to have a different internal operating system than almost the entire world. You literally have to have a 1% mindset. Now, this might seem like a big undertaking, but it's actually not. You just need to understand the core mindset principles of success, and then you just need to practice them every single day, and that's it. So now let me show you the 7 mindset hacks I've personally used and many others have used to achieve financial success in the SEO industry. Number 1, you have to know that it's possible for you to be successful. Thinking and knowing you can be successful and can live differently than almost the entire world are 2 different things. Knowing requires confidence. Knowing requires proof. Now, I'm living proof that it's possible to achieve a level of success in the SEO industry, and I'm not saying this to brag, but I was raised by a single mother in a low-income household. I was a bad student and barely got into college, and then I graduated with a pathetic 2.6 GPA. I had no prior business or marketing experience or education before starting my company, and I've never had any funding except through credit cards and my own pocket. But despite all of this, I had one thing, and that was that I knew I could be successful. I didn't think, I knew. And I'm telling you this because I want you to know that you don't need special advantages, superior intellect, or huge loads of cash to be successful. The first step to being successful is actually knowing deep down inside that you can be successful. Number 2, what happened before today doesn't matter. Everything you've done or haven't done has put you in the position that you're in today. But here's what's important. What you did or didn't do or anything that happened yesterday cannot stop you from what you want to do today. Today is all that matters. That means both your successes and your failures do not matter. All that matters is the work that you're doing today to reach your goals that are in the future. Number 3, you don't need to be an industry-leading expert. Now, this one may sound counterintuitive, but it's one of the biggest mistakes you can make. You do not need to be an industry-leading expert to get clients or to start a successful niche website. You just need to know more than the average person. And what you'll learn and take action on in this course will give you the knowledge you need to be at least top 25% in the world at SEO. Now, trying to get into the top 1% of SEO experts is a cool goal, but it's not important for making money. And as you'll soon see, SEO skills are just a small piece of the money-making equation. SEO, or driving organic search traffic from Google, is nothing more than a vehicle. Gotcha SEO Academy will give you all the knowledge you need to be successful as long as you take action. Don't worry about being an expert. Just focus on getting results, and more on this later. Number 4, realize that it's not as complicated as your mind will try to make you believe. When you're new to a skill or trying to learn it, everything seems complicated. And that only happens because there's an abundance of information and varying opinions, and you don't have enough experience to know what's right or what's wrong. What's interesting is that when you actually learn and truly understand something, you're able to see how simple the process actually is. SEO used to seem confusing, technical, and challenging to understand when I first got started, and that's totally normal. But here's what you need to realize. Getting SEO results or making more money online is rarely as complicated as you believe. We as humans make it more complicated. We overanalyze, we make assumptions, and we act irrationally much of the time. And I'm guilty of this too. But I have one simple principle I live by, and that's when in doubt, simplify. And I actually have the word simplify on a letterboard in my office to remind me of this principle. Nothing is more important than to simplify. My goal is to make the process of getting SEO results and making more money online as simple and as straightforward as possible. That's what this course is all about. Number 5, you have to become a person of action. Want to know something crazy? You don't actually know anything until you have experience in whatever you're trying to learn. For example, you could go through this entire course, read every SEO and business book on the planet, and even get an MBA and still technically know nothing. Now, how is that possible? It's because you only learn when you take action. And to be honest, knowledge is worth nothing without action. Action is the key to real learning because it forces you to make decisions and see the impact of those decisions. And over time, each little decision builds upon itself and you begin to see the connections and build real knowledge. That's why I always recommend you watch a lesson in Gotcha SEO Academy and then immediately take action on what you've learned. Now, just to be clear, what I'm saying has nothing to do with working hard. Which brings me to point number 6, which is to understand that working hard isn't the key to success. I'm going to say that one more time. Working hard isn't the key to success. Taking the right actions is the key to success. People that work long hours choose to work long hours. They choose not to delegate. They choose not to build systems. Working hard is a choice. On the other hand, you can also choose to only work on the projects that will have the biggest impact on your business and life. That's where you should focus because everything else is just noise. And then number 7 is you need to be patient. SEO is a long-term game and it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. Making sustainable long-term income is a long game, not a get-rich-quick scheme. What I'll be teaching throughout this course requires you to take action and put in the work. And if you're looking to get rich quickly without any work, then A, this course probably isn't right for you. And B, good luck with that because I haven't met a single legit entrepreneur who hasn't done the work every single day for an extended amount of time. You need to be committed and patient if you want to be successful. I've personally been running my company for over 5 years and I have worked every single day. Success takes time, but it also takes consistency. The truth is, being an entrepreneur isn't for everyone. You have to be willing to take action, fail frequently, and be incredibly patient. Everyone achieves what they define as success at different speeds, and some people will get there before you, and that is totally okay. You can only control your situation by taking action. Just write out your primary financial goal, and then when you write your daily to-do list, just ask yourself if those actions are getting you closer to your goal. If you believe they are, then take action and learn. You won't always take the right actions, but approaching your day in this manner will accelerate your success. So that's all I have for this lesson. I promise this is the only self-helpy type of training, but I wanted to share these ideas with you because they've had such a profound positive impact on my life, and I want the same for you. Hey, thank you so much for watching this entire training video. So I hope this gave you so much value and really gave you an inside look on how to start a client SEO business, or most importantly, how to grow a client SEO business. I truly believe this is the single best way to make money online, but not only the single best way to make money online, but it's also the fastest way because you're just going to be able to get that cash flow so quickly and it's going to be able to compound over time very, very fast. And you can then take that capital and reinvest it into anything else that you want online. So it really pretty much the most powerful method I've found personally and used is to get clients and continue to grow that monthly recurring revenue. So I'm super excited that you got the chance to see all this and I hope it gave you a ton of value. And if it did, please share this video with someone who you think it would help. And most importantly, please subscribe to my channel because I'm going to be producing content like this all the time. And if you have any questions whatsoever, or you just want to leave some feedback about this video, just drop a comment below and I'll respond to it. So once again, thank you so much for watching and don't forget about the free downloads below this video. Thanks again.